They see that all these opulence, the entire earth was there for them. But they see this as just a, glass pieces of glasses. It's worthless. It's worthless unless and until we come to Krishna consciousness, and whatever we have, no matter what, is just a waste of or worthless than what we have. So this is another realization one should have. So that's what is another learning that we can get from the Mother Devahood. Even though we have everything, but this doesn't make you happy. I was reading this news some time ago. There was a billionaire actually. This is the 54th billionaire in this world in Germany. He had everything, all the richness, all the happiness, all the comfort, everything, and even just in command, everything was there just to alter. Everything is there. But no matter what happened, and he committed suicide. He jumped in front of a train. Nobody knows, what happened. So this is nothing in this world makes you happy unless Krishna. Krishna is the server of all pleasure and happiness and the bliss. Krishna's form is Satchitananda, and we are also saying Satchitananda. But what we do, instead of understanding and realizing happiness within us, we are trying to search in all outside. So it doesn't make you happy. So what happens as soon as you get something, and then of course after that, again you reject it. This is the nature of the mind, Sankalpa and Vikalpa. Sankalpa means we so much of contemplation, and then as soon as you get something, and then you reject it, or called a bhoga or tyaga. As soon as you enjoy it, and next moment you are fed up with it, you reject it. This is the nature of the mind. Sankalpa, Vikalpa, Chapala, Bhoga, Tyaga. This is the nature. And as Krishna also says that in the Bhagavad Gita, right? All this happiness and the distress all arises from the sense perception, right? Matra spasyastu kaundeya, sidoshna sukha dukkada, agama pailo anitya. Anitya, it's not nitya, it's all anitya, it's all arises from our sense perception. So whatever the happiness we are looking in this world is nothing but it arises from our sense perceptions. So that our sense, as mentioned, while contemplating the object of senses, a person develop attachment. So senses and mind and all this settle body and a gross body, as we all know that. So whatever this world is nothing but, that we are, as I mentioned that this Silabodha mentioned the purport that this material body is unwanted, anartha or nivritti. This unwanted means actually we are spiritual eternal entities, we are spiritual entities. So these are all created for our own selfish purposes in reality. That's why we can see that this material world is nothing but a perfected reflection of that our spiritual nature, spiritual world. And even the material world is nothing but the gross form of our all the settled bodies. The material world is nothing but the gross form of the settled nature of it. Mind, intelligence, we know that we have a big like a ether, like a sky, like a mind. So what we see in the material is just a gross form of that, just a gross form of all, right? Everything. So this way that basically this is all created just for the material world is when we are away from the supreme, when we are away from our spiritual nature, then we have been created with a separate nature. That's to enjoy, to go with our sense gratification. But we are not understanding this fact. So we are completely. So, but Mother Devahudi, after hearing this instruction from Mother Kapila Dev, completely understood what is needed to be done in the life. It's exactly like Arjuna. Arjuna heard from Supreme Lord. And what Arjuna said? What Arjuna said in the Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter? Anybody knows what Arjuna said? Nashta moha smurvilabdha prasat prasadatme achyuta. Nashta moha, my illusion. So this is what we are all illusion. We are in the network of the web of this illusion that okay, this is right, this good, this bad. Okay, let me go this way, that way, so we get some happiness, some pleasure from somewhere or other this one. But we forget the core point, the focal point that our happiness is nothing but within us, and the happiness is with when at the moment we connect ourselves with Krishna, that's the most happiest and the blissful moment that ever we can in our life. So Mother Devapudi understood and completely started to engage and meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here, as we know that the word whom can actually meditate upon, so don't confuse with this that some jnana yogis or dhyana yogis are there. So Srila Prabhupada was clarifying that's the purport of that. Don't underestimate that, okay, this meditation is the ultimate process. No, meditation is the the process that one who understands, knowledgeable of the pastimes and the different aspect of the Lord and the knowledge of the Lord, then one what happens? Then one who reaches to that platform, then he started to meditate upon Supreme Lord in devotion service, in bhakti yoga. Not that somebody goes to the forest and just meditate on that, that's nothing. So rather, he can understand. That's why Bhagavad Gita Krishna says that. Bahunam Janmana Mande Jnanavan Mam Prabhatyande Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Such devotee Vasudevam is Sarvam. Everything is that such devotee, the Krishna, the Vasudeva. Who is that Vasudeva? The son of Vasudeva. The son of Vasudeva, Vasudevam Sarvamiti. For such devotees, Vasudevam Krishna is everything. Right? Let's say Srimad Bhagavatam is beginning with like this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yesterday we started with Om Namo Bhagavate. That Vasudeva, that son of Krishna. So here Mother Devgudi started to meditate upon the Lord. And then after that, then Mother Devgudi says that her mind became completely engaged in the Supreme Lord. The devotees, this is the lesson that you have to take it all the time. You have to, our body, mind, and the words. BMW. You want to have BMW? Everybody likes to have BMW, right? So BMW is body, mind, and words, right? And you know that if somebody wanted to go and buy the BMW, it's very expensive car or something. But here you don't need to pay anything. All you need to do is nothing but just engage your body, just engage your mind, then engage your the activities in the service of the Lord. You attain the most expensive things in your life. But as we all know that this is the devotee's ness. When the devotees engage in the loving devotional service with body, mind, and the words, then he is completely in the transcendence, and he only derives such a bliss and the happiness. Nobody else. Everybody else is just wasting their life in this world. So Mother Devahudi started to meditate upon the Lord and also engage completely, become in the Supreme Lord. This is also devotional service, as mentioned that. See, the Prahlad Maharaj mentioned to the 9 devotional processes of bhakti. Anybody knows that? What are the 9 devotional processes of bhakti? Bhakti yoga, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So this is the third aspect of the devotional service, Vishnu Smaranam. So naturally we know that when one who started to hearing process, then the chanting or kirtana the process, the one who naturally then developed this is the aftermath of, and as we know that sometimes we say that when you chant the holy name, and naturally you enter into the pastimes of the Lord. And what is happening and when it is happening? When you observe, when you attentively chant the holy name, it purifies you. It purifies your heart. When it purifies your heart, Chedu Darpanam Archanam, impurities are gone. So our whole problem in this world that we are looking this happiness outside because of our impurities. When our heart is completely filled with these impurities, then we don't understand, we don't come to that level of, the bliss or the happiness, and we don't even come to the realization of the Supreme Lord. So that is not in the process of bhakti. So bhakti yoga begins with hearing. It's very important. Bhakti yoga begins with hearing and then glorifying. Kirtana means glorifying the Lord. And we may be glorifying the Lord with the musics. You may be glorifying the Lord with my microphones or with many people. In so many ways you do that. This is called Kirtana. So Kirtanat Asya Krishnasya Mukta Sangam Paramvrache. And especially in this of Kali, as is Parishit Maharaj says to Sukadeva Goswami says to Parishit Maharaj, right? Kalir Doshe Nidan Rajan, Ashti Ego Ki Mahan Guna, Kirtanadasya Krishnasya Mukta Sangam Paramvrache. Kirtana. So we have to glorify the Supreme Lord. When we chant, where it begins from? When we chant, when we hear, and then we come to that, the proper process of that we are able to chant properly. Otherwise, unless we hear, we cannot chant, right? We have to hear first. So it's very important. Hearing is the most important. Then we are able to chant the holy name. Then it comes to that the stages of the meditation. This is the process of bhakti yoga, meditation, Vishnu Smarana. So when one has purified, then naturally you don't need to artificially meditate on it. You don't need to artificially bring the Lord in your mind. Sometimes people say that okay, when you chant the holy name, you meditate upon the Lord. But you don't need to bring artificially Lord into your mind. Whenever you are attentively chant, then you purified enough, when you kirtana, when you glorify, and then what happened? Naturally, all the time, the Lord is in your mind. Lord is always there. This is called Vishnu Smarana, not that you just sit, go to the forest. Yes, that's also dhyana, but regular natural process is that when the heart is clean, the Lord is always there. That's why Sri Rupa Goswami says that always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Sometimes we ask, is it possible or not? Yes, it is possible because of when we chant, when we hear, then naturally this also develop. That's Vishnu Smarana. Then all the other loving devotional service, Pada Sevana, Archana, Vandana, Dasya, Sakya, Atma Nivedana is all manifest, is all develop this. So basically, one has to execute with his body, mind, and his activities and the words in the service of the Lord. Then naturally, then one can always in association with the Lord. And this is what is Mother Devakoti is by. So this is what is we have to do, dear devotees, all the time. We have to understand the worthlessness, uselessness of this material, nature. And we are completely entangled by this material nature. We are under the, entangled in under the, clutches of this material nature all the time. Sometimes we think that, okay, even if you go there, I'll get some happiness. If I get this one, I'll get happiness. But we are actually entangled ourselves in this, the mysteries of the material life. And full of mysteries, as we say that. Nothing that here we can see that. That sometimes it's expressed at the mirage. The mirage? When you go to a desert. So what happens? You go through the desert, you see that there are a lot of water. There's a pool of pond of water out there. You go and try to get it, but there is no water, right? We know that the fire, the fireflies. Firefly sees that, Asuna sees that, oh, it's very beautiful. But what is the fireflies does? It just Asuna so beautiful, attractive. Asuna says that it's tempted to go and take it. So when it's tempted to go and take it, as soon as it goes into the fire, it burns itself. That's what we are doing here in this material world. So on this very auspicious day of this new year, so we can take this in our heart, the worthlessness, uselessness of all this material life. Only thing which is real and ultimate and absolute is nothing but that bring Krishna in your heart. Bring Krishna in your heart, and how we can bring Krishna in your heart with your the the complete engagement of your body, mind, and the senses of in the service of the Supreme Lord. That's why called Yuktahara. That's a Yuktahara Vitarasya. So also Yukta, Sri Rupa Goswami mentioned that we have to utilize properly everything in the service of the Lord. Anasakti Vishayan. Anasakti. Asakti means attachment. Anasakti. Anasakti means without attachment, non-attachment to the Vishaya. Vishaya means the worldly things. Right? We are so attached to so many things in this world. I like this, I like, as soon as iPhone 17 comes, we will be in the queue for some places to get it. As soon as anything comes new, so we are so attached to it. And because of our attachment, we cannot even focus even for a minute for Krishna. We cannot even sit for chanting for even for 7 minutes. It takes that 100. How many of you chant attentively one round every day? Nobody can raise the hand. Nobody can raise the hand because of our mind is completely engaged in all the sensual activities, nothing but. We cannot even chant because of this reason. So that's why Krishna says that Vairagyena ja vriyate. Krishna says, and Kapila Dev says, and the similar way, Mother Devahudi also, Vairagyena, detachment. Attachment to Krishna and detachment from all these material things. Yes, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned the purport, we may engage. We may engage in the activities, daily, day-to-day activities. We may eat. We may go to work. We may sleep. We may do so many things, day-to-day activities, but mind is not connected. It's called addiction, right? So addiction, our mind is not addicted to any of this. This is the way that we can. Sometimes we know that when we churn the butter, buttermilk, so we boil the milk. So then after it's become the yogurt. So when you churn this yogurt, so what is comes out? The butter, right? So as soon as the butter comes out, and then you make it as a ghee. So now the butter cannot go back to the yogurt. Butter cannot go back to the yogurt milk. Butter cannot go back to the water. So everything is churned out. So once you get this butter, and this is what it is, the essence of that entire yogurt. So like that in our life, in our existence, this real, the actual, the essence of our life is nothing but to take ourselves to and bring it and situate into that, the spiritual consciousness. So like a butter form, like a ghee form. So we have to churn our life. Yes, it's not easy. It's not easy. That's why Acharya is giving out this wonderful process of these devotional services, the Sravana Kirtana, Vishnu Smarana, all this. And then why we are reading all this Bhagavad? Because of they're exalted, exemplified. The devotees are exemplifying this and showing this. This is the way that one can attain that perfection. Nothing else is in this world that makes you perfect unless the bhakti yoga. So bhakti yoga supersedes, surpasses all the other lower stages. As we know that initially that we may come to this realization of the Paramatma realization or the Brahman realization. But is bhakti yoga or the Bhagavan realization goes beyond the Brahman realization or the Paramatma realization. But then one who comes to that, reach to that, the stage of devotional service, then what happens? He's already a Brahman realized personality. He's already a Paramatma realized person. You don't need to separately go to the forest to meditate upon or anything. As soon as you engage, so this is what is the greatness of the devotional service of the Bhakti Yoga. That supersedes, that surpasses all the lower stages of other process of. Like when you come to the temple, you're cooking for the Lord. So in the devotional service, now you're surrendering yourself to the Lordship. So you're thinking of what you can make the beautiful, very delicious bhoga for the Lordships. So your mind is working, your body is working, your thought process is working for one aspect of it. So that's what is anasakti sevishyan yadartham upayinchade. All this detachment from it, all these worldly things and attachment to the activities of the engagement in the activities of Krishna, then what happens? Naturally, automatically, we can be completely in meditation upon that Supreme Lord. Then you distribute the books. And what you're talking, your kirtana, and also you're chanting, and then also you are glorifying, as well as you're meditating upon Supreme Lord. The moment Shri Radha Shyama Sundar Ji, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maiya ki, Shri Gaura Nitai ki, Shri Panchatattva ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai. So I've mentioned that this is the most sublime process, dear devotees. So on this day of the New Year, the first day of the New Year, so we can take this sankalpa, we can understand this. This is the most important aspect that we can take it in our life. And what is the most important thing in our life? What is most needed? So as we all know that human form is life is like it says that Buddha. Buddha, have you heard about Buddha? Anybody knows what is Buddha? Bubbles in the water. Bubbles in the water. So our life is just like a bubble in the water. As soon as the bubble comes, it breaks. Our life is like that. It's very tiny, little bit of compared to the lifespan of Brahma. It's like a nimisha. Nimish, not even a nimisha. So we get this human form to realize this and come to this understanding. Like Mother Devahudi understood this. After all this instruction, that's why we are hearing. So we are hearing the same instruction, not to hear from one ears and take it out through the other ears. And as soon as this class is over, okay, class is done. I was there for 2 hours. Good. That's what is good for my day or this year. New Year, first day of New Year, I went to temple. That's it. Good enough. I'm done. I'm done with all throughout the year. No, it's not that. The Bhakti Yoga is not. Bhakti Yoga is a continuous process. It's a sadhana, unfortunately. And this is what is exactly when you realize, when you get back to the Godhead Krishna, this is what is exactly you're going to do. So this is our place that we can purify ourselves. Philip mentioned that. The moment we engage our hands, our eyes, our body, our feet, our mind, our senses, our intelligence, everything in the service of the Lord, then we are completely devoid of all this material attachment. Then we from free from like how the butter is coming out from the milk yogurt. Similarly, we will also situate in that stage. Then we will not go back. Then the similar state, then we don't remember or we don't want to do anything unwanted, unnecessary things for in our life. You know what happens? We can situate completely in that Krishna conscious. That's the time, the same service that we do. We continue to do that same service when you reach back to Krishna, and Krishna is ready to receive us with that. But this is what is the essence that we have to take it in our life. Mother Devahudi was exactly like that and executed this. And then what happened? Finally, Mother Devahudi left the home and went into a river. And what happened? Anybody knows what happened to the body of Mother Devahudi? What happened? Hmm? It's completely turned to milk. The body is completely turned to milk and just completely dissolved. This is what is happened. It dissolved. So when we utilize our body, mind, senses, everything for the service of the Lord, now it is not connected. Now we are not anymore. This body, mind, senses, all not anymore in the clutches of the material energy. Now in the clutches of which energy? Devim Prakriti, the Lord's energy. That's why Mahatma Namstu Mahabhartam Devim Prakriti Masataha, Krishna says. Mahatmas are under the protection, under the energies of the Supreme Lord, but not Duratma, right? Instead of Mahatma, the Duratmas are under the clutches of this material. They are the one who suffer in this world, life after life after life after life after life. But this is our opportunity. This human form of life is our opportunity to realize this and execute and come out from this material energy, the clutches of material energy, and completely purify so that we can also go back to Godhead. And this is what is the message that we can invite, take home on this beautiful day of the New Year, dear devotees. And this is the teachings of Mother Devakoti. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. I'll stop here with this note. And are there any questions? Are there any comments, questions? And also we see many other devotees on the section. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Narottam Das Thakur, yes. Yes. And the similar way, if you go to Jagannath Puri, I think it's at the place, not exactly sure. Yeah. There is a Samadhi Kudiri is there. And then when, or in the Ganges, Narottam Thakur mentioned that, okay, tell to everyone, you come with me, all the disciples, come with me, chant the holy name. They said, okay, take the water, pour the water on me. So as soon as they started to pour the water on Narottam Das Thakur, the body is also completely melted. It's like a milk, and then completely disappeared in such a way that then they took some water, that milky water, and then they created a samadhi for Narottam Das Thakur. This is the devotee. This is not that old. Srimad Bhagavatam is not just an ordinary text. This is a spiritual transcendental science. So this is the way that we should always see that the absolute truth, and whatever explained and whatever the devotee shows that this is our right path. So we should take it in our life. Whatever the case and whatever the situations we may be, we can completely take shelter of the holy name and the Supreme Lord, and Lord will be always there to protect you. And like I said, how devotees are, exhibited and executed their life and passed their life. So glorious, isn't it? Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was just looking at the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was holding the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur and just left the body. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the body of Haridas Thakur and danced because of Haridas Thakur was not ordinary. And then went back to Godhead and went back to Krishna. And Haridas Thakur was dancing into the body of Haridas Thakur. Similarly, everybody can have a glorious life and then also death. As always says that life is a preparation, death is an examination. That's the time of death that we are able to remember the Lord. That's what is all we are doing. So unless until we practice this, we cannot come to that stage. So we are impure in sense. So impure with our mind, senses, body, and all. Then what happens? Again, another form of life. Same thing, another form of life, another form of life, another form of life. Maybe sometimes human, maybe sometimes reptile, sometimes animal, sometimes maybe worm, sometimes in the sky. This is the science, this is the truth. Okay. Yes, thank you. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Anything else? Anything else? Anybody else has any other comments, questions? Okay. So let's stop here, the class. Thank you so much. And again, wish you a very Krishna conscious Happy New Year throughout the year. May Lord Shri Radha Chamsundarji bless you all. Hare Krishna. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Lord Premanante. Hare Hare. Yes, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.